Hi, Ricardo. Hi, David.
Good night. How are you?
Good, and you?
I'm fine. Fine. A little bit tired, but here we are.
Okay, great. David, how are you?
Hi, good evening, teacher. I'm very well, and you?
Good. It's Thursday. Wow. The week has gone like by so fast for some of us.
Yeah.
Not for everybody, but for some of us. I don't even know how many days we have been in quarantine. I think like 2 weeks now, right? Like 10 or 12 days, approximately.
Yeah.
Oh.
Since that, how do you say?
Since it was announced?
Since it was announced, the official quarantine for everybody is just 1 week, because it was announced on Saturday, last Saturday.
Ah, okay, the official one, but then, so approximately it has been
before
like...
that, like 2 weeks.
Ah, okay, because school started first, like schools, universities, and then everybody else, right? Oh, okay, okay, good. Okay, guys, so today I'm gonna be showing you something that I want you to start working on, and it will help you a lot. It's super fun. Do you remember when you guys were in school, did you ever play Bachillerato Stop?
Yes.
Okay, David, what about you?
Yes.
Did you? Okay, so in English, Bachillerato...
Yes, I remember.
Great. In English, Bachillerato Stop is called categories. So this is Bachillerato Stop. The thing is that for us, we had like names of countries, fruits, vegetables, like we had 10 categories, right? And then you would decide the letters of the words you wanted to play around with. But usually there were like approximately like 10. Some of them were countries, some of them were fruit, vegetables, names, last names, I remember. But here, the one I'm gonna be presenting today, it's a category game online that anybody can play. What I like and what I suggest from you, once you get the opportunity to actually play it, is that you have categories, like infinitive categories that you can pick. And the system will give you the letters that you need to, okay, work on. For example, here I have, just to give you an example, 4-word letters, colors, body parts, beverages. But if you see, there's like numerous categories, like different windows or tabs that will take you to more categories. Okay, types of trees, things that you watch on Netflix, anime. And once you pick the ones you want, you can pick many of them. You can go ahead and click on create new game. I just want to show you that way you can actually, you know, practice on your own to enhance or improve your English, okay? And then here, it will actually give you how many players you want. What I did is because I want everybody to play, right? I would go to all the way to 20, because anybody can play with me, and how many rounds. Here's very important because these are the opportunities or the letters that the system will automatically give you. And how you want them to say bachillerato stop or stop, right? Do you want to press stop once you are finished? Or like we usually do whenever we play, we say bachillerato stop, and you say stop, right? And everybody pencils down, etc. Or do you want like a timeout? Like a, you know, 10, 9, 8, so it's up to you. And you could send a link to play with friends, or you can play with anybody. I would say play with anybody because then, you know, people, students, or people that are learning English use this website as well. And then you just click on create new game, and it will actually load you into a new game. And since nobody's logged in right now, right, I'm going to play against a robot to start with, and then people will start joining in. And I click play game, and then the game starts. Just for you to have an idea how it is. It's kind of different from the way, so for example, tell me a word that has 4 letters with N. Nice. Color with N?
Nice.
I don't know. Help me. Body part with N?
Nose.
Very good. Nose. Ice cream flavor with N? Like a flavor.
Oh, I don't know.
Nutella.
Very
Nutella.
good. Okay. Yeah. Things you drink with N?
I don't know.
Items inside a suitcase whenever you travel with an N.
Notebook.
Very good. No.
Notebook.
Profession with an N?
Nurse.
Very good. Nurse or notary? Notario. Items in the refrigerator? Nutella. I'm going to write Nutella again. And then you see stop. So the system stops automatically. So since I'm playing against hippopotamus, which is the robot's name or nickname, so you see, and then it will actually compare. I like it because it actually activates that thing quickly. And you know, you're like, oh my God, I don't know, right? And you're thinking which one. For example, a color with N, neon. I just completely forgot about it. Body part, nose, nails. Nutella, nus. I don't know what nus is. We'll find out. Things you drink. Hippopotamus didn't write that either. With N, notebook, necktie. Very good. The neckties are like the bow ties. That's chonguitas for guys on the neck. He didn't write a profession. Yeah, nurse or notary. Items in a refrigerator. Nectarine. It could have been also nectarine. Things you drink. Nectarine juice.
Yeah.
Okay, so what happens is that then when I click confirm result, it will give me another round, and then it will the same categories but with another letter, and then you go against time, because if you go all the way to the bottom, see, I have 60 seconds to actually fill it out. So it's really cool. It's something very nice that you can actually do. So at the end of the class, I'm going to share the link so you can actually come up with your own categories. What I like is that, then again, I don't want you to going back to my words at the beginning, I don't want you to go to the ones we used to play when we were kids. I want you to challenge yourself, like play with, I don't know, adjectives, play with things you do on a date, like go with those categories that kind of make you feel a little bit uncomfortable because they're taking you away from your comfort zone, okay? So that's something that I super suggest you guys do, and then you can have fun as well, and you can share this with your friends as well, okay? So every time I'm trying to give you tools or little things that you can do, like remember like the training lyrics, like Hangman, like this one. Games usually work a lot. Not only they take away your stress, but they also challenge your mind somehow. And that way you can develop more vocab. And then you can check on the answers of the rest of the competitors. And by the way, don't cheat, don't be truqueros, because you can actually Google categories. For example, you could actually look for words like flavors with the letter R, I don't know, right? And then it will give you for categories, and it will actually give you answers, because I've done this in the past. Like I even have assigned this for homework, and it's incredible how people cheat. Well, this happens with teenagers, how they cheat on how they actually find the answers on the internet, because they can actually go and just search for flavors with the, you know, and then just write it. And the idea is to make you think. Yes, of course, to learn new words, but then to think the ones you do know, or perhaps the ones that you don't, vocabulary words that you don't use that often, okay? So that's my tool for today. I hope you liked it,
Nice.
and I hope you guys
Thank
can
you.
use it once you get the opportunity to do so. Something else today, part of our platform, we have conditionals. Okay, with if, which is the first conditional. What do you know about if? When do we use if without checking out the rule? Do you know when do you use the word if in a sentence?
As you say, when you condition something, like if if I do something, then something is going to happen.
Can it be something, usually, is it something negative or is it something positive?
Both of them.
Okay, very good. Yes, actually a conditional is that. You use if, okay, as a way of, you use if the same way. You use if to actually condition a consequence at the end of your statement. Whenever there's an action, there's a consequence, whether it's positive or negative. So what I want you to do is I'm going to place you right now in groups, in small groups, okay? So I have 7, perhaps maybe 2 groups. And I want you to discuss, I want you to go back to discuss, remember the strange customs. Remember that we went over throwing kids from the roof to make them adults. And remember those unique customs around the world. So I want you to discuss the consequences of this peculiar or particular customs that happen around the world, including the ones we discussed about not tipping, about slurping, about what else did we talk about? Do you remember? All those particular customs that we have, not only locally, but the ones that we have worldwide that are quite unique and strange, because we're going to be doing, we just saw like 4 minutes of the video, so we have a lot of more video to watch and to actually use it as examples later on. But right now, I want you to start by discussing this in the break rooms, okay? So I'm going to send you really quick to the break rooms so you can discuss those, the ones that we already saw using the conditional if and checking out the consequences. For example, if you throw a kid from the roof, like in India, they throw kids, a newborn from the roof of a house, the baby can die, for example. So if you do this, the consequence can be this. So try to go over some of the examples that we saw previously, and then you're gonna share, at least I want you to share 2 or 3, okay? Whenever you come back. So David and Marisol, are you discussing some of the examples? Hi, Marisol. Hi. So with David, and Ricardo, with David and Ricardo, I want you to go over some of the examples, okay?
Hello, okay.
Steph and Fatima, are you going over the examples?
Sorry?
Are you going over the examples with Stephanie?
The examples?
No, yet. Teacher.
Okay, so I want you to go over the examples, meaning that the consequences of some of the unique customs that we saw previously in another class.
Maybe can be if you do the custom of the ants of the child or the children become a man by getting their hands in the ants, then you will have injuries maybe in your hands or something like that.
Okay, very good. Yes. So the consequence is if you get bit by an ant,
Bit.
they're bites. Actually, like, you know, like a dog can bite. So the past tense is bit. So ant bits, if you get ant bits, what happens? What's the consequence? Like in real life, what can happen? Not following the tradition.
How do you say inflamar?
The skin, hold on, skin, inflammation.
How do you spell it?
I'll write it. Yes, I'll write it down for you. Here. Here, let me go. Where's the chat? Where's the chat here? This oh, where's the night? Inflammation. Oh, sorry, inflammation. Yeah, sorry for my dyslexia. I do have dyslexia heavy.
Okay.
Sorry. Inflammation, that's how it's called.
Okay, and so we can
and the other
say
one are bits.
You
like
get bit or an
if you
ant,
get bit by an ant,
then you will get an inflammation of your hands.
Exactly. Okay, very good. And that's the way you should come with other examples too. Let me go with the other group to see if they were able to follow the instructions. I'll be back. Okay.
Okay.
Continue talking about other examples. So David, David and Marisol, are you talking about the different examples or not really? So for example, there was an example of this guy that had to put the hands inside a lot of ants. I don't know if you remember. And that way he would become a man. So if you put your hands inside a bag full of ants, what is the consequence? You can get injuries. Your hands can get, if there could be an inflammation in your hands. So that's the idea, for you to use the conditional if with this particular customs that happen around the world and the consequences for each one. Hello?
Okay, teacher. Example, if I don't practice the piano every day, I play poorly.
Now go with the customs from the countries that we saw. Remember that video of the different customs that they have, like throwing the kids from the roof or people breaking plates on the streets. Remember the unique customs around the world?
Okay, teacher.
Tell me an example using one of those.
People around the world, if people take the dinner at 8 o'clock, they cannot sleep very well at night.
Okay, that could be one. As a custom. Very good. Marisol, what about you? Do you have any? Do you remember some of them? I cannot hear you. I'm sorry, Marisol, I cannot hear you. Okay, let me go back to you guys. Where is Stephanie? Stephanie may be locked out. Stephanie was giving us an example of like if you place your hands inside of a bag, if you place your hands inside a bag full of ants, what's going to happen? You're going to get bit by the ants. And of course, maybe there's going to be an inflammation on your hands due to that. So that's the type of examples I want you to come up with. Any other example you guys discussed while you were in the break rooms? Fatima, any other example?
Oh, I didn't remember that.
The video.
Customs. Yeah.
Okay.
So we talk about other things that always using the conditional.
Okay.
We said if you don't respect the quarantine, maybe you will get sick.
Exactly. Okay. So if you don't respect, if you don't stay home during your quarantine, as told, you will get sick. Now, remember, there's a difference between will and going to, right? Will is as a position like 50-50, but going to is something that you can actually assure with facts. So it's like more like a 90% of possibility that's going to happen. So it's good that you use will because you don't know if that can happen or not. Okay, very good. Any other one that you can remember? Any other one that you can? Yeah, or anybody else? Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to present you another part of the video, and we're going to be using examples with, okay? I'm sorry, with if, okay? For example, let's do this one, the upcoming one, not this one.
Strange customs continue around the world in regard to pregnancy and family. In China, for example, the partner of a pregnant woman is expected to carry her over burning coals, though painful for...
Okay, did you understand that one?
Yeah.
Okay, so what can happen? Give me the if, the scenario, and what could happen if this takes place?
If he walk over the, I don't know, heat stone, burning stone,
burning coal, which is carbon. Coal is carbon.
Coal.
So coal is carbon. Charcoal, well,
Yes.
I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. Here.
And
Burning
you say
coal.
heat coal or burning? Burning coal.
Like on the chat. I wrote it down on the chat.
And over burning coal, he might burn his feet.
Okay. He might burn his feet. Very good. Excellent. Okay. Let's check out the next one.
Sure, the future mother has a more pleasant and swift labor. Then, once born, cultures have a different approach to celebrating birth and providing a newborn protection. In Spain, during the festival of El Colacho, babies are placed on blankets in the street. Men dressed as red and yellow devils run around and fight pious men dressed in black. The men then jump over the babies, which is meant to keep them safe from sin and disease. Though.
Okay, so what happens there? Can you give me an if example?
I didn't understand too much that.
What I understand is
understood.
That understood. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Is that if the men jump over the kid, the babies, and they, I don't remember the other part, but something is going to happen, something good for them.
Healthy.
Yes, there's somebody who jumps over. It's like it happens in Spain. Somebody, if that person is dressed in red and the other one's dressed in black, I guess red is positive or it's good and black it's not good. So they fight. The one on red has to jump on top of the kid or the baby on a blanket to protect him from sins, which is the evil part. So it's like a myth or a belief or a custom. So they believe in that, right? So I relate this to like the cadejo negro and the cadejo blanco kind of story. So it's like one is positive one and the other one's like not really good one. So that's what that person does is jumps. But what can happen? What could be the consequence? So if this person jumps on top of the baby, what can happen? What do you guys think?
If the man falls while he is jumping, he can damage or hurt the baby.
Very good. He can hurt the baby. He can fall down on the baby and hurt him. Very good. And it's possible because it's a blanket. What if he slips, right? This person can slip. Slip es resbalarse. So you can actually slip and then you can fall on the baby and then hurt him. Okay. Very good. Very good. Next custom. Let's check it out.
Men dressed as red and yellow devils run around and fight pious men dressed in black. The men then jump over the babies, which is meant to keep them safe from sin and disease. Though not exactly safe, in India they take it to a whole different level of extreme. A few Hindu and Muslim parents wanting the same spiritual protection for their child will throw their babies off the top of 50-foot buildings. When all goes according to plan, the babies are caught in a sheet below.
Okay, this was the one that I was telling you previously. So they throw the babies, newborn babies, I was reading, like newborn babies off the roof and they have to catch it on the blanket. Give me an if example. This is in India.
If you throw your kid according of that custom, maybe your kid will die.
Okay, yes, the kid can die or the baby can end up in the hospital. Injured.
With severe injuries.
With severe injuries, very good. Severe injury. Imagine those are, and they say we are crazy sometimes. And I look over this customs, they're like, well, we wouldn't do that, I guess.
No.
Let's check out another one.
While some customs can be unpleasant or scary, others can be more fun, though they can also get a bit messy. An example of this is La Tomatina, also known as the world's biggest food fight. This takes place on the last Wednesday of August in the Spanish town of Bunol. Thousands flock to this event from all around the world. However, due to limited space, only 20,000 get inside. These lucky few are given over 100 tons of overripe tomatoes to fling in the streets.
Do you know what are overripe tomatoes?
Podridos.
You know how they smell when they're overripe? Not exactly, but they're not like actually, like if you touch them, that your finger can actually go inside of the tomato. And then when you do that, the smell comes out. But the tomato is still not damaged. So it's like, está pasadito de maduro. So if you do this, then the bad smell can come out. So imagine throwing that to people.
Sounds fun to me.
Okay, so give me an example. How could we apply this in an example with using if conditional? If.
If one of those tomatoes fall on your mouth or face, you maybe will throw up.
Yes, maybe you can throw up. Maybe you're gonna smell stinky, right? Like stinky smell. Stinky is like a bad smell out of food. Okay. Interesting. I have seen this tradition in Spain. I have seen videos on how people run on, all over the place throwing themselves tomatoes, but I didn't know the tomatoes were overripe. That was the only detail I was missing. That's what I was like, but this is so fun. Like people should, like whenever we do that, when I was a kid, I remember doing that with balloons.
With water. Balloons with water.
We would, you know what we would do during summers? We would put a lot of ice. We would make ice, everybody in the refrigerators. And then we would fill up buckets with water, and then we would put the ice. And then with that ice, we would fill up the balloons. It would take more time for us because we wouldn't be able to fill it out from the faucet directly. We had to figure a way using like special tools. I just forgot the name of it. I think it's an embudo. I don't remember, but I'm trying to remember the word in English of embudo. And filling it with cold water. So we would run it, since it was summer, it was hot, and we would throw the cold balloons with water to our backs. So we were crazy. But imagine tomatoes. I mean, I didn't know why people would run away from tomatoes, but now I know it's because they're ripe tomatoes. Let's check out the next one.
Believe it or not, though just an hour, La Tomatina makes quite a mess, and it takes fire trucks to clean it up afterward. While some believe La Tomatina began first as an escalation of a small food fight, a tomato toss during a parade, or the response to a performance by an ungifted musician, its origins are not exactly known. Its purpose, on the other hand, is. The event is meant to honor Louis Bertrand and the Virgin Mary, Bunol's patron saints. The Battle of Oranges in Italy is a custom based on a much less lighthearted event. It's meant to symbolize the myth about a horrible marquis who tried to rape a woman who instead cut off his head. After he died, the people of the town staged an uprising and stormed his castle. This revolt is what is symbolized through 3 days of citrus-based fights. It begins when one woman is picked who pretends to be the one who killed the marquis. Then 9 teams are created to represent both commoners and royalty. Dressed in their battle best, they fight in the streets of Ivrea that have been set aside as a makeshift battleground.
What happens in this particular custom? What can you tell me? Were you able to understand the context of the custom?
No, I didn't understand why the orange, because I heard that man wants to or try to rape a woman, and the woman tried to kill him with, bueno, by cut his head, but I don't get it. Why the orange?
According to the information I looked up, what happened is that for the medieval times, I don't know if you have seen, I haven't even seen it on series. I'm not like a very big fan of Game of Thrones because I haven't seen the series myself. But if you remember, or if you have seen, if you're a lover of this type of epic series or movies, you will always see that in the castles, in the dining room, they would have fruit. And usually the fruit they harvested the most were oranges or apples or grapes, and so on. So at that time, this woman or women, I guess because oranges are heavier than the rest of the fruit, maybe they consider that that could be a harmful weapon, like a rock, you know, like symbolizing the rock. So you could actually throw and, you know, and penalize the person who's actually offending you or attacking you instead of grabbing a rock that you don't have it there handy. So that's what I read and that's what I understood. It was a very strange custom. I really didn't, but yeah, that's what happens used to happen in the medieval times. So they had oranges, apples, and grapes, and oranges were the heaviest. Reason why they grabbed the orange to actually throw it to people around. And so that's why everybody for this festival or for this custom, they dress up like if they were warriors to protect, like, you know, to protect themselves from getting hurt. Because what happens if you receive an impact from an orange from a very long distance, it will actually hurt you, right? Because it's quite heavy.
Yeah.
So it's a strange tradition. So let's move into another one.
3 whole days before Fat Tuesday begins, every person, man, woman, or child, throws oranges at the opposing teams and symbolically kills them on contact. While an airborne orange doesn't sound like a threat, it's not uncommon for many to develop bruises, cuts, or other wounds. Not as big as La Tomatina.
Bruises, that was the word I was looking for. Moretones are called bruises.
Bruises.
This one.
Okay.
Common for many to develop bruises,
Sorry, bruises, moretones,
Bruises.
cuts,
Okay.
cortadas, and wounds, any other type of herida.
Heridas.
cuts, or other wounds. Not as big as La Tomatina, the Battle of the Oranges is Italy's largest food fight. More than 500,000 pounds of fruit are used, and pulp covers the people and the streets. While many in La Tomatina and the Battle of the Oranges find themselves running from flying food, the English go a different direction in a custom practiced at Cooper's Hill. The Cooper Hill Cheese Roll Competition is an annual event of quite an unusual type. It requires participants to hurtle down a steep hill to catch a wheel of cheese. However, like battles with an orange, this event has its own type of hazards. Chris Anderson, a man who set a new record by scoring 22 cheeses in 14 years, recently tore his left calf during the last 2018 competition.
So what can happen if you go up a hill and you throw like a wheel of cheese down the hill? What could happen if this was to happen?
Lose the balance maybe and fall with the ball of cheese, the wheel of cheese.
Do you know what calf is? Do you guys know what that is?
Calf. No. It's a part of the oh no. Part of the feet.
So this, consecutive year winner hurt his calf in this last competition. So then again, you can hurt yourself, you can hurt your feet, you can hurt any part of your body.
Because of the strength that the people use to throw the wheel?
And imagine running down the hill to actually catch it. So maybe there's like a lot of obstacles and then you can get hurt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Strange. Did you know that? Strange customs.
It's no wonder people get hurt when the speed of the cheese has clocked in at 70 miles an hour. And on top of this, the competition itself is quite intense. Anderson had to race against another participant who wore something similar to a Speedo with boots to give himself the benefit of near-nude aerodynamics. But why should it be people who have all of the food-filled fun? An interesting custom in Lopburi, Thailand includes some monkeys in the mayhem. In this part of the world, the monkey is revered as a descendant of the brave Hindu deity that rescued a woman from a demon. As their reward, they receive a feast on November 25th of each year. This includes over 4,000 pounds of food and things such as watermelons, pineapples, and bananas. Monkeys are free to nibble on these treats while grabbing a soda to drink.
Wow. What can you tell me about this custom?
They feed the monkeys.
Once a year, the monkeys are released. They can go out to the streets and people actually, pile up food, fruit especially, so the monkeys can actually grab it and eat it.
That's cool.
I know. So can you give me an example using if? If the monkeys...
If the monkeys get released, they will eat a lot of fruit.
Okay, very good. Yes, if monkeys are released once a year, they get the opportunity to eat a lot of fruit. They can eat a lot. They can enjoy the fest, the fruit fest.
While some cultures enjoy sweet and succulent foods, in some places they serve something a little bit different. An example of this is hakal, a specially prepared dish served in Iceland. It's made of pieces of Greenland shark that have been left out for at least 6 months. The reason this is necessary is because the shark has no urinary tract, so its wastes build up to toxic levels in its meat. Another potentially dangerous treat is consumed in the regions of Southeast Asia. It's made from the panguim idul fruit with lethal amounts of hydrogen cyanide. After its shell is removed, it must be boiled and then fermented in leaves for a month. If this procedure is not properly followed, a little taste of the fruit will be your last.
Wow. So what would happen if you get to try that fruit and it's not processed correctly? You can
die because of the cyanide.
Someone does die, death and burial customs can be pretty strange as well. The Yanomami have a tradition where they take the body of the deceased and burn it. While there's nothing so unusual about this first step, it gets much weirder very quickly. After the body is burned, they then blacken their faces with the ash. Following this, they collect any remaining bones and turn them into a powder that they mix with bananas.
What? No, that's crazy.
So they use dead people ashes. That's why I didn't know. I thought it was just regular paint. I didn't know they actually use people's ashes to decorate their faces. And they mix it with banana. I don't understand why.
This makes a kind of banana soup and everyone eats it together. To the Yanomami people.
And then afterwards they mix it with banana to make banana soup and everybody eats it. Wow.
That's insane.
It is.
This is the only known way someone who dies can reach eternal peace. In Madagascar, they have a strange after-death custom of their own. They exhume their ancestors' remains every 5 to 7 years and replace their old clothes with new ones. Then, stranger still, those in the Marina tribe dance with the clothed corpses. By the time the day ends, they're returned back to their tomb upside down until the...
This is very similar to the one Sadie told us the other day about for Day of the Dead, where people in Thailand actually they exhumate the remainings and they actually spend the whole day with them and then they place them back inside. It's very similar.
Same.
It is. What do you think can happen if this happens?
Yeah.
What can happen? What do you guys think can happen?
Maybe the remain body or bones of the dead people can destroy, or I don't know how to say, despegarse. I don't know.
Dissipate. It's like that. They start, dissipate is this. It's when you have something like this and they start disintegrating. It's another way, sorry, my dyslexia. It's when it starts disintegrating. So it's another way of saying dissipate or
Dissipate, okay.
or disintegrating. So it's when it starts disintegrating. So it's when it starts falling apart, right? So they can start falling apart. And do you think people can get sick for having contact with human remainings? Do you guys think that can happen?
Yes, I think.
Yeah. I guess.
Maybe. Okay.
And stranger still, those in the Marina tribe dance with the clothed corpses. By the time the day ends, they're returned back to their tomb upside down until the procedure repeats again 5 to 7 years later. Though no one has died, at the end of Carnival season, Spaniards engage in symbolic mourning. This is supposed to signal the end of festivities and the beginning of Lent. On Ash Wednesday, a procession known as the Burial of the Sardine walks through.
Ash Wednesday, do you remember Ash Wednesday?
Yes.
Yep.
What is burial?
Burial. It's when it's part of the funeral. It's when you are about to throw soil to the remainings of a person. So that's the burial, el entierro. So that's the burial.
Okay.
Through the streets, carrying a large fake fish. They walk through Madrid until they get to the burial grounds, and at this point, they bury the sardine. The world is full of many strange and
What do you think? Why do you think they do this? Why do you think they burn sardines?
Like a tribute. I don't know.
I'm curious. In Madrid, was it, right? Oh, this is I wanted to show you.
No. They walk to Madrid, but I don't know. Span something.
They take a fake fish and they make like a procession all around the city for some reason. But this is when it's like telling everybody that the carnival or the festival or something, it's ending. So it's when this ends. So it's the sardine, and it's like a procession. El entierro de la sardina is a ceremony that winds up carnival. So because before Holy Week or Easter for some, they have like their festivities per se. So they're closing because they're going into something sad, right? Because then Miércoles de Ceniza, and then it starts, or when Ash Wednesday. So it starts like the Catholic traditions. So I guess so Carnival stops. So it's like, so the party's over. So it's like a representation of, like, to tell everybody that, party's up. So there's no more party until who knows when.
It sounds to me like it's time to not eat meat. I don't know if I think that maybe for us can be that that time of the Holy Week when we don't have to eat meat and the people get used to eat only fish.
Okay, it could also represent
Maybe it
that.
can be.
That's why they use the
Maybe it can be
sardines.
representative.
Do you like sardines? Do you guys like sardines?
No, it's ugly.
No?
No.
Fatima, do you like sardines?
I have tasted, I have eaten, but that's not my prefer. I don't usually eat, and yeah, I maybe the 2 times.
David, Edu, Marisol, do you guys like sardines?
If there is nothing more to eat, I eat sardine.
Okay. And actually, by the way, I went to the supermarket and I noticed that actually people are buying them more. Like before, nobody would actually pay attention. And now, like halfway through the aisle, like pretty much you would see various products. But now halfway an aisle, an entire aisle, it's full of sardines. Maybe because that's the type of food that people would actually have at home in case they cannot go out, like you're saying, right? Like if there's nothing else you can have, then, and there's like sardines with water, with pepper, and with I don't know what, and you know, there's all sorts of sardines. But yeah, it's true, not everybody likes it. Marisol, do you like sardines? Yes, I like. You like sardines? Okay. What's the name of them? Carimar. What's the name of the brand? I forgot. Sardimar. Like Carimar. Oh my God, I'm thinking about the delicious cake that they sell in Carimar.
The pupusas too.
Yeah, and the cake with chantilly cream on. Oh God.
No, I don't like the chantilly.
I'm craving for. I love desserts, guys. I have to confess, I love dessert. So
I love desserts too.
I love desserts, and I'm craving for so many desserts right now. And even when I see the Boston close and I see many other, I'm like, oh my God, I'm craving for. The more you don't have things, the more you want them.
Is Carimar close? Or no?
Yeah. I'm sorry?
Oh, is Carimar closed?
I think, yeah, they closed. I think they went in bankruptcy or something.
Oh.
They closed. But they were actually the first place before Shaw's, before any other, cake shop where they would sell chantilly cakes back in the days. I don't know anymore. I don't know. They closed. I heard they closed because they went bankrupt. That's what I heard.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, a Cardenal, strawberry Cardenal. I don't know. I'm craving for desserts, guys. I'm sorry. I had to say it. And it happens when, I don't know if it happens to you, when places are closed, it's when you crave the most for things.
Yes.
They're closed and you're like, oh no, choco bananos, oh my God, they're closed. And you're craving more, and you just have the call and the craving of having them because the place is closed. It's mental, it's mental. Yeah. Okay, coquetators y coqueteras, I'll be seeing you next week. Today's Thursday, yay! You're resting tomorrow. Have a wonderful weekend, please, with your families.
In our houses.
Your houses, yeah, play categories, play Bachillerato Stop, play Jackson.
Yeah.
To I heard that Channel 10 is going to be, having, the classic programs that they had when we were kids. So that's going to be interesting to watch again. So I'll go ahead and take a look into like La Novicia Rebelde and all that, right? So they're gonna go back Barba Papa and all that. So I'll check them out to see.
The old school stuff.
Old school stuff. Yeah. So, you know, that's like they're trying to come up with this just for people to start, you know, feeling better, I guess, somehow. So, so yes. Okay, pues I'll be seeing you next week. Same time, same place. Have a fantastic weekend with your families, okay?
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
have a good
you.
You
night.
too.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Good night.
Bye.
Good
Bye,
night.
guys.
Bye. Bye bye.